As official licenses go, the World Rally Championship has had a long and mostly successful history. The series was shelved after 2005 and reborn in 2010, and WRC3 is the third outing on the current generation consoles, not to be confused with the first WRC3 on PS2. The last two titles have been underwhelming, especially compared to their predecessors. So, can WRC3 shake this ailing series back to life? Let's find out. The WRC has always been a motorsport championship that has been something of an underdog to the likes of Formula One. It's never quite fit the mould of conventional motorsport either. This is not group racing, where cars trade paint on wide, purpose-built circuits. Rally driving is about taking a car based on what your dad drives and going faster than you could possibly imagine along roads and mountain passes you'd be scared to walk along, let alone drive. That is the essence of rallying. A secret group of drivers who can, and do, run rings around any other drivers in the world. You only have to look at the failure of Kimi Räikkönen in rallying to see that these drivers have serious skills. That means WRC3 has a lot to live up to if it's going to be our gateway to what is an incredible, yet widely unappreciated motorsport. The most important thing a WRC game has to do is get the driving physics spot on. The previous generation's games were brilliant. They satisfied the hardcore crowd with dynamic physics that really felt like you were in a rally car, but also with enough playability that newcomers could start to get a feel for just how different rallying is to more traditional motorsport. In WRC3, they have unfortunately got this wrong. The top-end WRC class cars feel too light and snappy on the road, whereas anything lower feels underpowered and clumsy to drive. It feels at its best in slippery conditions, but gravel feels more like toffee, and asphalt feels like a complete arcade racer. There is certainly an essence of rallying to the physics, but the official licensed game of the World Rally Championship shouldn't be an essence. It should be for fans first, while also trying to appeal to new fans. WRC3 fails on both these counts. Not completely, it falls horribly halfway between the two. This theme continues with the graphics. They're high in detail, but really aren't that far from the previous generation's titles. The environments, which are rarely anything short of spectacular in a World Rally event, feel dull and lifeless as you drive around what quickly becomes a muddy brown blur, rather than the glistening forests of Finland or the gorgeous mountain passes of Monte Carlo. There are two main single-player game modes, the WRC Experience or Road to Glory. The WRC Experience allows you to simply select a driver and compete in single stages, whole rallies, or an entire championship. This is great for the purists, but there's no atmosphere to the events, and they quickly become stale. The next main game mode is the Road to Glory. Besides the terrible art direction with hand-drawn avatars, this is supposed to be the all-encompassing career mode, but in reality, you simply plod through stage after stage without ever really being that impressed by anything you win. You're already in a WRC-level car by the end of the first level, so where do you go from there? Overall, WRC3 is the perfect example of a franchise that has lost its way. Previous games were building a bank of elements that, had they been built upon, would be right up there with the Dirt series, and in fact, for pure driving thrills, may have even exceeded it. Instead, it has declined into a middle-of-the-road franchise tie-in that feels more like a marketing exercise than a WRC experience. WRC fans will still want it, and will forgive it some, but it's a shame to see something so promising lose out.